All right, my friends, welcome into another 164 custom die-cast video. I am building a couple different cars here, as you can see. I've got a Michael Annette 2018 Patriotic Flying J that I am putting together for Mr. John. And these decals have been sitting in the water. Water slide decals from Pato's Place. One of my favorite supplier of water slide decals for these 164 customs. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I see that I am over 800 subscribers. That is so awesome. I am just humbled by that. Did not expect to have that many subscribers for this channel. But hey, welcome. If you are one of a new viewer, like and subscribe. I make 164 diecast, NASCAR diecasts, and I customize them. I make the paint schemes that you can't buy from Lionel. You can't find anywhere. They have to be custom made for collectors, right? And NASCAR enthusiasts. And my goal is to make them to the best of my ability, all for the glory of God. As a Christian, I enjoy making things for people. And as a NASCAR fan myself and a collector, I started making these about 12 years ago because I couldn't find some of my Matt Kenseth cars, specifically the Crown Royal and Smirnoff Ice cars. So I needed to make them, or I was going to buy them. And as it turned out, after I bought a couple, I'm like, you know what? I think I can do better. I can do better. And then I realized that, hey, maybe there's some other people that would like to have a nice die cast, maybe a little bit above your run-of-the-mill custom die cast. And so, trying to make them to the best of my ability, trying to give that attention to detail that maybe others don't have, or they're in the process of refining their skills. And that's one of the reasons why I started this channel, was to show you guys how I make them and encourage you to those of you that have the wherewithal to embark on making your own customs. And so I started chronicling what I do, how I make it, products I use, all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I encourage you guys, give it a shot. Sure, there's a learning curve, like with most things. But it's, I'll be honest, guys, it's not that difficult. For those of you that have made custom die cast, it's not overly difficult. It's just, patience, attention to detail, and you can make high quality customs for your collection, or for, selling them. I sell a few on eBay. Generally now I take, most of mine I take custom requests like this one and build them for people that are looking for some quality customs. And John, the one who has asked for this one, and also this other Michael Annette, this was the one I finished the other day. This is his Darlington Pilot Flying J from 2018 that I'm finalizing, let's put it that way. John has sent me some pictures of some of the die-casts that he has made, and I'm like, holy cow, man, why are you asking me to make you some? You're doing awesome. But yeah, no, he and I have been communicating for quite some time, and he said, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. And so he started making some. And as a big Michael Annett fan, you know, he has really started off great, making some really nice customs for his collection. So, you know, maybe he's doing a few and asking me to do a few. But yeah, so got a little instrumental music going and working on a few of these here today. I typically use the water slide decals from Pato's Place, but he sells stickers. He sells multiple different types of decals. Mr. Isaac had sent me a message the other day, and he had pointed out another decal source, and looks like they what was it, printed decals or something like that. I'll have to double check, but before I you know, poo-poo them or give them any kudos, I'd have to give them a try. But yeah, I mean, having multiple sources of where you can get your products and stuff is never a bad thing. Competition is a good thing. You don't want to be sole sourced if you don't have to be. So I'll have to check that out, Isaac. Shout out to my friend Shahab. He is overseas spreading the gospel, and I appreciate him. Praying for him, praying for great contacts. He's a guy who lives in this area, goes to our church, and I could say I go to his church, one or the other. But he is overseas now that COVID is lifted. He's able to travel now and visit some Christians and do some street witnessing where he is out sharing the wonderful gospel of Jesus Christ with lost people. And yeah, he's going to be overseas for a few weeks, and yeah. And then at our church, where we have a missions conference coming up here in a few weeks, that's always an awesome time. Humbling time to hear missionary stories and reports in the field. So excited for that. All right, you guys can see now, I've put some decals on this thing, some of the easier ones. And now comes this beast for the front. And I like to use this product. It's a Microscale Industries called Microsole. I think it's probably their best product that they sell, that I use. And I think that it's almost a must-have for making custom die casts. And as it says, it's a setting solution for decals. It softens decals to conform to irregular surfaces for a painted-on look. And so get a little bit of this stuff, put it down here where this big nose decal is going. And I have to say, guys, this is probably the hardest thing right here, what I'm going to do of a custom die cast maker, is to work these large decals across a nose. This decal's been sitting in the water. It's just regular tap water, nothing special. I guess I could use like distilled water or whatever, but I just use regular tap water. And then you get this guy here. Wouldn't that be nice if that was it? No, you gotta have to work them in and try to get it as centered as possible. And you can't just lay it on and leave it and walk away. I mean, you could, I guess, but I don't think you're gonna like the final outcome. So try to get it centered, and usually what I do on these Camaros is I'm looking at the lettering between the CAM ARA or ARO, and between the M and the A is kind of the center point, maybe on the back side of the M, and I try to get that to line up right here in between these things. And then try to hold one side in place. Use this little brush that I have that I use for really anything that's water soluble, whether it's the regular water or a sealer or this microsol. I kind of use it for all of those different purposes. And then I have a separate brush I use if I'm using a kind of an oil-based product. You can see my fingernails, I try to keep them clean and trim. As well as really my whole hand. I try to always make sure I wash my hands with, I use Dawn soap. I don't use anything with products in it, like lotions or anything like that, because you don't want any of that stuff that's gonna end up possibly on your car that you're working. So you want to be able to have clean hands. Now the front lower valence will get a white line across here, so I'm not too concerned about that per se, but I do want to try to make sure it's as level as possible. It's not bad. Looks like these are going to wrap around there a little bit because this is a little bit too big. See how this is going to tuck in there. I don't really want to cut that off. I kind of just want to get it off the tire and tuck it in there like so. And because that microsole makes it so soft, it does a pretty good job of just wrapping around there. I really like this X-Acto knife blade because it's so thin. I can use it for these purposes. I just have to be super careful, obviously, not to cut it. But then I do use it at times to cut things if I need a nice, straight, slim cut where I don't have room to use something else. So I didn't get any microsole on that side, now that I remember. So yeah, guys, I appreciate your liking and subscribing. Appreciate following. Right now, I'm not taking any new requests because I'm just backed up with requests. And so, but I will eventually take new requests for people that are interested in a particular custom. And I only make 164s. I don't dabble in the 124s. Years ago, I made a couple 124s, and I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. I didn't collect 124s. I just, to me, they were just too expensive. I mean, I see some 124s on eBay and just hundreds of dollars, and I just, that just wasn't for me. I kind of wanted to make the smaller ones. I could make more of them, and yeah. So again, I enjoy making those paint schemes that you just can't buy anywhere else. Yeah. All right. I'm going to let that sit now that I kind of have this in here. I think most of these around the bottom at least. At least I think I do. I can let that sit for a little bit. And I'll come back. Let me get some decals on Manic's car. He is a crazy man. So he designed his own decals and sent them to Mr. Pato, and then asked if I could make a couple of them for him, or at least this one. And so, yeah, there's a couple guys that do designs. So, like, if you had, I hate to even say this, right? If you had your own business, or a business, and you wanted to, get a little die cast of your car, Joey's one guy that does designs, but there's other people, including Mannix, and he's commented on my videos. He may comment on this one, where he does designs, and he does them in the format that Mr. Pato takes, and I can't think he would do it for free. That's not usually how these designers work. But typically what I've done is if you want a custom design made, you got to work with one of those guys. T-Mac, Joey, Mannix is another one. Those three guys I know of. And they could design it, get them over to Pato, make them available on his website, and then I can get to them and make them. So, I mean, that's an amazing thing, to be honest with you. Joey has done a number of designs for me that are just terrific. And he does great work. And so I know that, looking at Mannix's designs right here, this is pretty awesome too. So, yeah, that's cool. I had Joey do a design that I specifically gave him for my daughter graduating from high school. And that was cool. That was really cool. Sure, she's not a NASCAR fan. It's probably more cool for me than anybody. But at the end of the day, sure, it's a long process, right? It's not something that can happen very quickly, but that's just cool to be able to make something like that happen. If you didn't notice, I'm watching more, listening to Dappy T Keys, and he has different videos. YouTube music videos, instrumental music. Just blesses your soul. This blesses your soul. Howard Concrete Services, Bavard Racing, chassis tuning. That's so cool. Trying to get that lined up with these lines on the window. Mustang. I'm just kind of pushing the water out here, trying to get the decal to conform to the hood. Let's see if I'm straight. It's not bad. See how important it is to have, you know, your hands washed and just those oils off of your fingers, you know. And there's a reason why I start with the hood and the roof, because I can see I'm holding the side of the car to get these decals on and in place. So I like to put the sides on at the end. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get some of these names on. I guess this is Fruqueron? Fruqueron? I don't know how you pronounce that, Manic. And to trim these just a little bit to get them to size properly for that windshield. All right, it's underway. It is underway. All right, let's go back to this Pilot Flying J and see how this nose is coming. I've got to get it to recess in the opening here for where the front headlight goes, and that's one of my concerns. Don't get too much of this micro sole on it, because it will get it super soft, but almost sometimes too soft. So you kind of have to be careful when you're working with it, as you can get it, and then it's so soft it'll tear on you. So Just got to be mindful of that. And with experience, people get used to working with different products and everything. They know what the limits are, what they can and can't do with it. Yeah. So I'm going to keep working this. This is turning out pretty good. It's actually a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. Sometimes these large noses can be a real pain in the backside. But let me finish this video with another one of my Bible memory verses that I'm sharing with you guys at the end of my videos now. And just encourage you. I mean, Word of God is a wonderful thing. So let me show you. Actually, hold on. Let me get these on here real quick. I meant to get these on here earlier. Just behind that, like so. So the verse number 8, and this is maybe some familiar verses for you. Seriousness, 1 Peter 5, 8 and 9. Again, 25 years ago I started to commit this to memory. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. So yeah, these two verses, that whole, actually, you read the scriptures in context, and you want to group these verses together, the chapters together, and eventually the books together to understand what Scripture is talking about. But here we're to be serious-minded and to be watchful, vigilant. Why? Because the devil is real, and he goes about as a roaring lion. He seeks whom he may devour. And I've always thought about this roaring lion image, and what do the roaring lions, what do the lions go after? They go after the young. They go after the vulnerable, those that stray away from the flock, from the herd. It's so important, guys, to be in a church, to be in a group of believers, to stay connected, to grow strong. If you go off by yourself, you're susceptible, more susceptible to the attacks of the devil. We are to resist him in the faith. And then it says, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren in the world. And that just means that other people are suffering. Don't feel like you're alone. And those experiences can help you when you are together with your brothers and sisters in Christ. All right, guys. God bless. Hope this is an encouragement to you. Have a great day.